let's talk about the incredible Bobby Darin, the American singer, songwriter, and actor who left a lasting impact on the entertainment world.
Our lover stands on golden sand.
Even though his life was tragically short, his chart-topping hits like Mack the Knife and Dream Lover will keep your soul refreshed until the last line of the lyrics. Well, there's so much more to know about this talented artist. From his struggles with health issues since childhood to his exploration of folk music and activism in the 1960s, Bobby Darin's story is one of determination, creativity, and overcoming adversity. In this video, we'll dive into the lesser-known aspects of his extraordinary journey. Stay tuned with ultimate discovery for all the details. Early years. In the vibrant streets of East Harlem, New York City, a legend was born. Walden Robert Casado, who would later be known as Bobby Darin, wailed his earliest cry in the world on May 14, 1936. However, his early life was shrouded in a web of family secrets and mysteries. Bobby Darin's maternal grandfather, Saverio Antonio Big Sam Curly Casado, had a colorful past. He was a member of the Genovese crime family and had close ties to the infamous Frank Costello. Sadly, Saverio passed away in prison from pneumonia just before Bobby's birth. On the other hand, Bobby's maternal grandmother, Vivian Polly Fern Walden, was a vaudeville singer with a mix of English, Danish, and Norwegian heritage. She played a significant role in Bobby's upbringing. The story takes an unexpected twist when we learn about Bobby's birth mother, Vanina Juliet Nina Casado. She became pregnant with Bobby at the age of 17 and, along with her mother, decided to present him as her younger brother. Bobby grew up believing that his grandmother Polly was his mother and Nina was his sister. It wasn't until Bobby was 32 years old, contemplating a career in politics, that Nina revealed the truth to him, which had a profound impact on him. Despite the family complexities, Bobby Darin's talent was undeniable. From a young age, he displayed a remarkable aptitude for music, mastering instruments such as the piano, drums, guitar, harmonica, and xylophone. These skills would later shape his remarkable career. Inspired by his idol, the legendary Frank Sinatra, Darin honed his craft and developed a smooth, charismatic style that endeared him to all who listened. But he wasn't just a singer, he was a true virtuoso. With his self-taught skills on these instruments, Darin showcased his musical prowess. After a move to the Bronx and graduating from the prestigious Bronx High School of Science, Bobby's confidence was tested amidst a student body filled with brilliant minds. This experience contributed to his later described arrogance. Bobby briefly attended Hunter College but dropped out after 2 semesters to pursue his passion for acting. When it came to choosing a stage name, Bobby adopted Bobby Darin for his music career. There are different accounts of how he settled on this name, ranging from the burned-out letters of a Mandarin Chinese restaurant to being inspired by actor Darren McGavin, known for his role as TV's Mike Hammer. Regardless, Bobby made it clear that his legal name would remain Casado, as a tribute to his mother and for the sake of his future children. The late 1950s became a turning point in Bobby Darin's career. He inked a record deal with Atlantic Records, and in 1958, he unleashed his first smash hit single, Splish Splash, upon the world. Its infectious rhythm and catchy lyrics catapulted him to the top of the charts, and he didn't stop there. Dream Lover followed suit, solidifying his rising star status. But it was an electrifying performance at the illustrious Copacabana nightclub in 1959 that truly set Darin on the path to superstardom. This unforgettable engagement propelled him into the mainstream, and soon he became a sought-after entertainer, leaving his indelible mark on the music industry. Bobby Darin's talents were not confined to the realm of music alone. He ventured into acting, gracing both the silver screen and television sets in films like Come September and Gidget. His versatility as a performer allowed him to explore diverse musical genres, from rock and roll to pop, swing, and even folk. But his path to greatness was not without its challenges. Growing up in a working-class Italian-American family, Darin faced hardships from the start. His health struggles began early on, as he battled rheumatic fever, which left his heart weakened. Yet it was precisely these health challenges that ignited a fire within him. Darin felt the urgency to chase his dreams and make the most of every precious moment, as he never knew how long his fragile heart would hold out. Despite his physical setbacks, his musical talents shone brightly. Even as a teenager, he graced the stages of local clubs in the Bronx and Harlem, captivating audiences with his soulful voice. Bobby Darin's dynamic stage presence and unwavering commitment to pushing musical boundaries endeared him to fans far and wide. From humble beginnings in the Bronx Bronx to becoming a legend in his own right, Bobby Darin's early life was a demonstration built on the golden power of consistency, passion, and an unwavering belief in oneself. So let's celebrate the extraordinary journey of this remarkable artist, whose impact on the music industry remains etched in history. Music career. So let's tell you more about Bobby Darin. He started off as part of this famous group of songwriters called the Brill Building Gang. They were a talented bunch. One of the first notable things he did was write songs for Connie Francis, and they even had a thing going on. But you know how it goes. Her dad didn't approve of their relationship, so they ended up breaking up. Turns out, Connie later said that breaking up with Darin was one of the biggest mistakes of her life. Ouch. Anyway, things started picking up for Darin in 1958 when he signed a deal with Edgar Records. He had a bit of a slow start, but then he recorded this catchy song called Splish Splash. Can you believe it? He claimed that he wrote it in just 12 minutes. Well, that song took off like crazy. It sold like 100,000 copies in less than a month and even made it to number 3 on the charts. Suddenly, Bobby Darin was a teen idol, and he started going by that name instead of his birth name. The following year, in 1959, he wrote and recorded this beautiful ballad called Dream Lover. That song was a massive hit, selling millions of copies. It was everywhere. Around the same time, Darin was breaking records left and right. He set the all-time attendance record at the Copacabana Club in Manhattan. And guess what? He started headlining at those fancy casinos in Las Vegas. Talk about living the high life. But it didn't stop there. In the 60s, Darin's career went through the roof. He released this song called Mack the Knife, and man, it was a sensation. It climbed all the way to number 1 on the charts and stayed there for 9 whole weeks. It sold so well, 2 million copies in total. To add to the taste, it even won the Grammy Award for Record of the Year in 1960. That's huge. Not only was Darin a talented musician, but he also tried his hand at acting. In 1960, he starred in his first movie, Come September. And guess what happened on set? He fell head over heels for his co-star Sandra Dee, and they ended up getting married. They were like a power couple of the time. They had a son together in 1962. And get this, Darin even won a Golden Globe Award for his performance in Come September. As the 60s rolled on, Darin became more politically active. He wasn't afraid to voice his opinions, especially about things like parental control over what kids can watch in movies. He was one of those artists who cared about the impact of entertainment on society. And you know what's cool? He kept experimenting with his music. He had hits with country songs like You're the Reason I'm Living and 18 Yellow Roses. But get this, he even dabbled in folk music with the song If I Were a Carpenter. That one became a hit in 1966. Indeed, the guy could really do it all. Bobby Darin had an incredible career as a singer, songwriter, and actor. He left a lasting impact on the music industry, and his songs still bring joy to fans even today. Career in the film industry. We are all out to tell you about Bobby Darin's ventures in the world of acting. You're surprised, right? In the fall of 1959, he appeared in an early episode of Jackie Cooper's CBS military sitcom drama called Hennessy. Darin played the character Honey Boy Jones in that one. It must have been quite an experience for him. Now, here's something interesting. In the same year, Bobby Darin achieved a unique feat. He became the only actor ever to be signed by 5 major Hollywood film studios. He had quite a widespread presence in the film industry. And get this, he didn't just act in those movies, he also wrote music for some of them. He was truly a custodian of talents. One of Darin's notable films was Come September in 1961. It was a romantic comedy aimed at teenagers, and it had a star-studded cast including Rock Hudson and Gina Lollobrigida. And guess who else was in it? None other than 18-year-old Sandra Dee, who would later become Darin's wife. Isn't that sweet? They actually met during the production of the film and tied the knot shortly after. And they even had a son together named Dodd Mitchell Darin, also known as Morgan Mitchell. Darin and Dee went on to make a few films together, and while they didn't become huge blockbusters, they pushed on still. In 1961, Darin took on a role as a struggling jazz musician in a film called Too Late Blues, which happened to be John Cassavetes' first major Hollywood studio film. Interestingly, it was a non-singing role for Darin, and according to Los Angeles Times critic Dennis Lim, he surprised everyone with his performance. Lim noted that Darin was willing to portray his character as both arrogant and weak, showcasing his versatility as an actor. Darin's acting skills didn't go unnoticed. 1962, he won the Golden Globe Award for New Star of the Year Actor for his role in Come September. The following year, he received a Best Actor Golden Globe nomination for his work in Pressure Point. It's clear that his talent was recognized in the industry. In 1963, Darin earned an Academy Award nomination for Best Supporting Actor for his portrayal of a shell-shocked soldier soldier in the film Captain Newman, Maryland. That's a significant achievement, being recognized by the Academy for his acting abilities. And here's an interesting tidbit. In October 1964, Darin made a guest appearance on the popular Western television series called Wagon Train. He played the role of a wounded ex-convict who forms an unlikely friendship with an orphan girl in the episode titled The John Gilman Story. Bobby Darin's foray into acting showcased his versatility and talent beyond music. He left his mark on the film industry with his performances and even bagged prestigious award nominations. It's impressive to see how he excelled in different artistic endeavors throughout his career. Relationships. Romantic life played a significant role in Bobby Darin's personal journey, characterized by high-profile relationships and a tumultuous marriage. One of the most notable chapters of his romantic life revolved around his relationship with actress Sandra Dee, a Hollywood sweetheart of the 1960s. Their union and shared parenthood were defining aspects of Darin's personal life. Bobby Darin's most renowned romantic involvement was with Sandra Dee, whose charm and talent captivated audiences during the 1960s. Darin and Dee first crossed paths in 1960, and their whirlwind romance quickly grabbed the attention of the media. The couple's love story reached its pinnacle when they exchanged vows on December 1st, 1960, in a highly publicized ceremony. From that point forward, they became one of the most celebrated couples of their time, affectionately referred to as Bobby and Sandra. Together, Bobby Darin and Sandra Dee welcomed a child into the world, a son named Dodd Mitchell Darin, born on December 16, 1961. Dodd became the center of his parents' universe and was raised amidst the glitz and glamour of Hollywood. Despite the eventual dissolution of their marriage, both Bobby and Sandra remained devoted to their son, displaying unwavering commitment to co-parenting him with utmost care and affection. However, the marital relationship between Bobby Darin and Sandra Dee encountered its share of challenges, leading to their divorce in 1967. The split was marked by personal difficulties and disagreements, which undoubtedly took an emotional toll on both parties. Nevertheless, they persevered in prioritizing the well-being of their beloved son, Dodd, and continued to navigate the complexities of co-parenting with great dedication. Following his divorce from Sandra Dee, Bobby Darin embarked on other romantic relationships, although none attained the same level of public attention as his marriage to Dee. During this period, Darin's focus began to shift more towards his burgeoning career and his passionate activism. Despite the ups and downs of his romantic life, the marriage between Bobby Darin and Sandra Dee, as well as their shared parenthood of Dodd Darin, remains a significant part of Darin's legacy. Their union, marked by its fame and eventual challenges, stands as a testament to the complexities of love, commitment, and the enduring bond between a parent and child. Final years. As the 1960s progressed, Bobby Darin found himself increasingly involved in politics, and his music took on a more folksy vibe. In 1966, he had a hit with Tim Hardin's song If I Were a Carpenter, which marked his return to the top 10 after a 2-year absence. It was a successful venture for Darin and showcased his ability to connect with the folk music scene. But it wasn't just music that occupied Darin's attention during this time. He became politically active and even traveled alongside Robert F. Kennedy during the politician's 1968 presidential campaign. In fact, Darin was present with Kennedy on that fateful day, June 4th, 1968, when the senator traveled to Los Angeles for the California primary and tragically got assassinated at the Ambassador Hotel. This event, combined with a revelation about his true parentage, deeply affected Darin. He chose to retreat from the spotlight and spent most of the following year living in seclusion in a trailer near Big Sur. However, Darin eventually made his way back to Los Angeles in 1969 and decided to venture into the world of record labels. He established his own label called Direction Records, which focused on releasing folk and protest music. It's worth noting that Darin wrote a song called Simple Song of Freedom during this period, and it had an interesting twist. It was first recorded by Tim Hardin and became one of Hardin's best-selling records. Darin himself performed the song on various television variety shows, adding to its popularity. Darin expressed his vision for Direction Records, stating that the purpose of the label was to seek out artists who made statements through their music. His first Direction album was filled with compositions that reflected his thoughts on the turbulent aspects of modern society. Later on, Darin signed with Motown, further expanding his musical horizons. In addition to his music endeavors, Darin ventured into the world of television. Starting on July 27, 1972, he starred in his own variety show on NBC called Dean Martin Presents: The Bobby Darin Amusement Company, which ran for 7 episodes until September 7, 1972. Following that, he headlined another show on NBC called The Bobby Darin Show, which aired from January 19, 1973 to April 27, 1973, spanning across 13 episodes. Despite his television success, Darin also made guest appearances on various shows and continued to be a highly sought-after performer. Bobby Darin's journey through politics, record labels, and television showcased his versatility and his ability to adapt to different artistic mediums. Alongside his musical career, his activism and television presence solidified his status as a multi-talented entertainer. Health challenges and death. Bobby Darin's health struggles were a constant presence throughout his life. Even as an infant, he was frail, and starting at the age of 8, he experienced recurring bouts of rheumatic fever, which severely weakened his heart. It was a condition that would shape his entire existence. In January 1971, Darin underwent his first heart surgery, during which he had 2 artificial valves implanted. The procedure was a significant event in his life, and he spent a substantial portion of that year recovering from the surgery. His final years were a mix of personal and professional endeavors, as well as ongoing health struggles. Despite facing a serious heart condition, Darin remained dedicated to his craft and had an unwavering commitment to living life to the fullest. Throughout his life, Darin's heart condition stemming from childhood rheumatic fever posed ongoing challenges. Weakened heart valves necessitated multiple heart surgeries. However, Darin's determination and work ethic remained intact, and he continued to perform despite his health battles. In early 1973, Darin's health took a turn for the worse, leading him to undergo open-heart surgery to address complications related to his heart condition. The surgery was performed by renowned heart surgeon Dr. Denton A. Cooley. Initially, Darin's recovery showed promise, and he even made plans for a comeback tour. Sadly, on the night of December 19, 1973, just days before his scheduled comeback tour, Bobby Darin passed away in Los Angeles, California. He was only 37 years old. The cause of death was determined to be a heart infection that had spread to his artificial heart valves, a complication arising from his previous surgeries. The news of Darin's untimely death came as a shock to his fans and the entertainment world. It marked the end of a remarkable career and the loss of an artist who had made an indelible mark on the music industry. Despite the brevity of his life, Bobby Darin's contributions to music, activism, and entrepreneurship continue to be celebrated. His timeless songs and the impact he made on the world around him ensure that his legacy endures. In accordance with his last wish, Darin's body was donated to science for medical research following his passing. Impact and legacy. Bobby Darin's impact on the music industry continued to be recognized and celebrated even after his passing. Here are some notable posthumous honors and awards bestowed upon him. In 1990, Darin was inducted into the prestigious Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. His close friend and fellow singer Paul Anka had the honor of announcing Darin's induction. In 1999, Darin was voted into the Songwriters Hall of Fame, acknowledging his talent as a songwriter in addition to his skills as a performer. Songwriter Alan O'Day referenced Darin and his iconic recording of Mack the Knife in the song Rock and Roll Heaven. This tribute to deceased musicians gained popularity when performed by the Righteous Brothers. O'Day wrote the song shortly after Darin's death as a way to honor him and others who had passed away. On May 14, 2007, Bobby Darin was posthumously awarded a star on the Las Vegas Walk of Stars. This recognition highlighted his significant contribution to the entertainment scene in Las Vegas, which is often referred to as the entertainment capital of the world. The star was made possible through the contributions of his fans who wanted to honor his legacy. Additionally, Darin has a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, further solidifying his place among the greats in the entertainment industry. The Recording Academy, at its 2010 Grammy Awards ceremony held on December 13, 2009, presented Bobby Darin with a posthumous Lifetime Achievement Award. This prestigious accolade recognized his lasting impact on the music world and his significant contributions to the industry. These honors and awards serve as a testament to the enduring legacy of Bobby Darin. Even after his untimely death, his talent, creativity, and influence continue to be celebrated, ensuring that his contributions to music and entertainment will never be forgotten. Biopic. In 1986, director Barry Levinson had plans to make a film about Bobby Darin's life. He started working on the project in the early 1990s, but eventually abandoned it. The rights to the film were later purchased by actor Kevin Spacey, along with Darin's son, Dodd. They collaborated on the biopic titled Beyond the Sea, with Spacey taking on the role of Darin himself. Interestingly, Spacey used his own singing voice for the musical numbers in the film. The movie delves into various aspects of Darin's life and career, including his marriage to Sandra Dee, portrayed by Kate Bosworth. Beyond the Sea premiered at the 2004 Toronto International Film Festival. Although Dodd Darin, Sandra Dee, and Blauner, Darin's longtime manager, responded positively to Spacey's performance. The film received mixed reviews upon its wide release, and it didn't perform well at the box office. However, Spacey's portrayal earned him a nomination for the Golden Globe Award for Best Actor in a Musical or Comedy, although he ultimately lost to Jamie Foxx for his role as Ray Charles. In September, a 2016 musical titled Dream Lover: The Bobby Darin Musical had its world premiere at the Sydney Lyric Theatre in Australia. The production featured Darin's story and was accompanied by an 18-piece big band. David Campbell played the role of Darin. Darin's upbringing was quite unconventional, as he was raised by his grandmother, who he believed to be his mother, and alongside a woman he thought was his sister, but was actually his biological mother. He only discovered this truth when he was 31 years old. Campbell had a similar upbringing, which led Dodd Darin to describe him as the perfect fit for the role, as he could relate to the experiences and emotions of Darin's life. Campbell himself expressed that playing Darin was a cathartic experience, and that he felt like he was healing certain aspects of himself through the show. The production received nominations in 6 categories at the 18th Helpman Awards, including Best Musical, and Campbell won the Helpman Award for Best Male Actor in a Musical. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.